So many people want to find the next 100x altcoin. Yet too many people buy crypto when stuff like this is happening.
Our viewers who may not know anything about this, what are cryptocurrencies?
They're a type of digital money, but instead of being controlled by a central government, they're decentralized using blockchain technology. Prices have been soaring for cryptos like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and especially Dogecoin.
Oh, right. Now, what is Dogecoin?
Well, it actually started as a joke based on an internet meme, but now it's taken off in a very real way.
Okay, but what is Dogecoin?
It's an unstoppable financial vehicle that's going to take over the world.
I get that, but what is it, man?
To the moon!
Now is a much better time to get involved in cryptocurrency if you know quality altcoins. Comment your top 10 list of quality altcoin projects below, and I'm going to tell you mine in this is Algorand, holding a special place in even the chair of the SEC, Gary Gensler's heart. Here he recognizes Algorand as an MIT award winner.
Sylvia McCally's Algorand, who's a Turing Award winner at MIT that I work with. Sylvia's got a great technology that has the performance you could create Uber on top of it.
Algorand, officially launched in 2019, seeks to achieve accelerating transaction speeds on blockchain networks and reducing the time it takes to be deemed final on blockchain networks. Algorand seeks to achieve these attributes through decisions that deviate from how cryptocurrencies have been traditionally designed.
So when we talk about execution, I want to talk about what we are executing on every day and what our team goes to battle with every single day to improve. And it's these three things up here. This is our strategic priorities. Core protocol properties, programmability, interoperability. If you were at the Cypher last year, you would have seen the exact same three strategic priorities. Why is that? Because these are the brass tacks. This is what it takes to succeed. If one of you comes up to me after this and says, hey, look, I'm thinking about starting a blockchain, what do I need to be thinking about? I'm going to talk to you about these three things. Every single day, making them better. They don't get done. You continue to improve them.
Next quality altcoin project that continues to get bigger and better is Avalanche, a blockchain platform that aims to address the blockchain trilemma of scalability, security, and decentralization thanks to its unique proof-of-stake mechanism. In brief, Avalanche is an advanced blockchain platform that promises extreme scaling capabilities and fast confirmation times. Developers are working on scaling innovations such as subnets, which allows projects to connect to Avalanche without taking up any space. Another reason I'm bullish on Avalanche is because they just launched a $290 million incentive program for subnets. This will focus on bringing users and adoption to Avalanche through gaming, DeFi, NFTs, and enterprise. The only other question then is, what exactly are Avalanche subnets and what makes them so powerful for institutions interested in embedding compliance on chain? Well, let's listen to the CEO of Avalanche explain this himself on NASDAQ.
Tell me about Avalanche's breakthrough with the concept of subnets. What is that and how are they made possible?
Absolutely. Subnets is one of the principal ways in which we scale. There is never going to be a single chain that can conquer all of the load that is incident on it from all of the different kinds of assets. With a subnet, what one can do is they can have an application-specific chain. That application-specific chain can be compliant, can be subject to US rules, can be subject to whatever jurisdictional measures are necessary. So this is the kind of thing that's required when large asset holders want to digitize their assets. So we provide them with the full control they need, but we also provide the users with a single unified interface.
If you like Cardano, let us know in the comments below. Cardano makes our list, making the world work better for all. Cardano is a blockchain platform for changemakers, innovators, visionaries, with the tools and technologies required to create possibility for the many as well as the few and bring about positive global change. Let's get specific, because Cardano did accomplish a lot over the last year and has big plans for innovation in the future. So obviously 2022 is full of travel, innovation, and events, but let's take a look at some of the numbers. Tim Harrison, VP of Community and Ecosystem at Input Output.
2022 was a landmark year for the Cardano ecosystem, and it was all because of you, the community. A global movement of developers, entrepreneurs, and even artists built new solutions, businesses, and experiences on rock-solid foundations. From the earliest beginnings in 2015, from Byron and Shelley to Gauguin and Basho, you, the community, ensured the continued growth and success of Cardano. In 2022, our academic community had 8 Cardano-focused research papers accepted and presented at major global conferences, while IOG researchers presented 39 papers covering all aspects of decentralized technology. Over 7,500 students participated in the Plutus Pioneers program worldwide. 2,000 students could call themselves the Tyler Pioneers, and over 2,500 signed up for our Haskell Bootcamp to begin their journey into functional programming. On top of this, we launched a new Marlowe Pioneer program to introduce the world to a powerful new way of launching smart contracts. Cardano developers have always been some of the most dedicated and active. 2022 was no different. This translates to over 56,500 commits across 272 repos on GitHub. During the same time period, we reached over 58,000 wallets registered to vote in Project Catalyst. To date, Catalyst has allocated over 38 million in funds to bootstrap and support projects building all over the world. Over 1,100 projects have been funded from 91 different countries, making Catalyst a truly global decentralized innovation fund. The network processed over 50 million transactions between over 3.5 million wallets. There are over 3,000 stake pools operating on 6 continents, and over 71% of ADA in circulation is staked. While the network grows, so does the community of developers. Currently, there are 11,000 developers on IOG's technical Discord server. More than 4,700 smart contracts have been deployed, 1,100 projects founded, 7 million native tokens launched, and over 2 million NFTs have been minted. At the same time, we continue to see projects building in Africa. Project Catalyst has fully funded 47 pilot projects throughout the continent, and ICE Addis identified and incubated 9 entrepreneurs working in the African marketplace. In 2022, entrepreneurs and developers from Tanzania, Ethiopia, Kenya, Nigeria, and more worked on creating solutions for everything from remittances and microloans to education and healthcare.
Another reason to be bullish on Cardano, or maybe bearish, you tell me. Some people love Charles, some people dislike Charles, but he is a strong leader for the Cardano project, and he has no problem calling out BS in the space.
Certainly A16Z and others are like, Cardano. But you know, the problem is that we didn't...
Why do you think that is?
Because we didn't have any Ponzonomics for them. I mean, let's be honest here. The vast majority of VCs, let's just be honest, the way they approach it is liquidity. So they say, when is the token coming out? Where's the marketplace for the token going to be? Do I get an early distribution? How do I exit that early distribution when the retail people come in? And you've seen numerous layer ones and dApps, we won't name names, where they launch to market at a very high valuation, the insiders dump, they go down, and they walk away with a lot of money.
Cosmos, Atom, certainly one of the best altcoins in the space today. Heralded as an internet of blockchains by its founding team, Cosmos aims to create a network of crypto networks united by open source tools for streamlining transactions between them. It's this focus on customizability and interoperability that sets Cosmos apart from other projects. Rather than prioritizing its own network, its goal is to foster an ecosystem of networks that can share data and tokens programmably with no central party facilitating the activity. Of course, we've had experts on the show talking about altcoins today, including Cosmos, why Coin Bureau is bullish on Cosmos.
I think it's an amazing project. I love Cosmos. I love I love this idea of interoperability. I think the project there's some really cool tech there. There's a great team behind it, and also, I must say, a really good community behind Cosmos as well. So I would certainly look to pick up some Atom, start staking it straight away, because there are some, there's some amazing returns on staking Atom at the moment.
And even more than that, Vitalik Buterin, founder of Ethereum, has recently put himself on record talking about why he respects Cosmos as a project.
I think the Cosmos ecosystem, for example, I deeply respect it because it is one of the few that's actually trying a very different region of design space, and they have this vision of a larger number of blockchains. Each of those blockchains has a smaller number of validators. They use these protocols to talk to each other, and they give up on shared security, but they give up on tight coupling, but they have modularity. And here's their arguments for why this might be a good idea. And I really respect the fact that, they have a technical vision, they push a technical vision first. They, in my view, have not been pump and dumpy. They have not done any they have not bought any stadiums. They have not put the face of their founder up on cylinders all over San Francisco. So look, that's something I respect.
Binance is the next altcoin making our list today. Of course, Binance, the altcoin, largely dependent on the success of Binance the exchange or Binance's leadership, but with so many centralized entities blowing up or going under over the past year, CZ and Binance thus far, anything could happen, but thus far, they're certainly making a name for themselves and pulling away from the pack. Here is CZ doing a little AMA with his community, wrapping up the year. Here he talks about the ethos and goals Binance over the past year, but also these ethos and goals applying to Binance going forward in the future. You tell me what you think.
Yeah, there's a lot of firsts. I think the first that jumps to mind is a number of countries, 33 new countries this year. And I also met a few head of states, many regulators for the first time, many users, communities for the first time. The industry that dealt with a few first problems we faced this year. So there's quite a lot of firsts. If all Binance users want to withdraw their funds at the same time, will Binance go bankrupt? Short answer is no. It will be completely fine. We have more than 100% reserves on every single coin that we hold on behalf of our users. So feel free to withdraw at any time if you have any concerns. We'll be good. Thank you, Renato. Yeah, so I would say there's three things that's very valuable. I think number one is always be ethical. So never touch ethical boundaries. Never move user funds. Never go on debt. Don't do things that hurt your users. Always do the right thing. Even though we're managing a very large number of user assets, we sleep very soundly. We know we're doing the right thing. I think number two is build strong teams. I think at Binance, we've been very lucky that we have a very strong team. Number three, I would say, is to be in touch with the people, the community. It includes the users, the angels, the KOLs, the regulators, even the traditional financial players. So I think those are the three things I've learned that help Binance become very successful.
Mina is the next altcoin making our list today. Of course, Mina differentiating themselves from all other protocols. The lightest blockchain at only 22 kilobytes versus 300 gigabytes plus of other blockchains. Another differentiator for Mina is its ZK technology on the base layer. But let's just keep things simple. Here's one of the founders of Mina Protocol, Evan Shapiro, talking about why light blockchains matter and why Mina is one to watch.
What's the advantage of a 22 kilobyte blockchain? Because I know that is obviously one of the things that so many people point to when they get excited about this project. What do you think the practical advantage and excitement around that is for you all?
I think there's a short-term and a long-term one. The short-term one is that when you as a user are using an application like the one I just mentioned, you can get full access to Mina's blockchain and submit this proof in a fully trustless way without having to, in the process, basically reveal all this to like an Infura or some other middleman. This really gives you that full end-to-end from the user, privacy and trustlessness you would want for that kind of application. Mm-hmm. In the longer term, though, I'm more excited about just what this could mean for the centralized future for cryptocurrency. I imagine this technology could be used to help Mina always stay extremely accessible to everyone. And in 5 years from now, when these blockchains are 5 times as big as they are now, when they're much harder to access, Mina will still be really small and accessible permissionlessly. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's something that's an asset today when we think about how hard it is to sync to chains even now. Mm-hmm. But it'll be increasingly so as these chains get larger and we need some way to get decentralized access to these ecosystems.
Something else I like about Mina Protocol is its interoperability. That's also something I like about Polygon and leads us to our next pick today, Polygon. Mina Protocol is coming to Polygon. Mina and Polygon are working towards building a bridge that will enable devs building applications on Polygon to leverage privacy and verifiability via Mina's ZK Snark-based protocol. Let's review the year of Polygon. They've made so much news over this past year with mainstream adoption, their Disney Accelerator, partnering with Facebook, partnering with Starbucks, 90 million plus successful transactions, Magic Eden, which is the Solana marketplace, Uniswap, so many different smart contracts deployed, Robinhood, of course, digital ownership to gaming, hundreds of thousands of content creators onboarding the next class of developers, 200 million total unique addresses, such a good scaling solution for Ethereum and for crypto. So a lot going on, and this is the momentum they're bringing into 2023. Monero, private decentralized crypto that keeps your finances confidential and secure. Out of all the privacy coins, Monero has some of the strongest real-world adoption.
What's its significance for you that Monero is dominating or at least trending to domination on the darknets?
For me, there's really two main things to grab from that. I mean, one is that people who understand the need for privacy and who are generally not tech savvy are adopting Monero. The second big piece that comes with that is that we do get this like thorough testing of Monero because of its use, its growing use in the darknet markets, and its growing attention from governments, law enforcement, etc. I think it continues to prove that Monero works and works very well today.
Filecoin makes our list. Filecoin seeks to enable open services for data. So here are 3 of the main off-chain capabilities and 2 critical on-chain protocol upgrades that anchor this pursuit for Filecoin.
Filecoin actually, if you kind of use that lens to understand Filecoin, it seeks to enable open services for data. And this diagram here is something that we found ourselves, particularly useful to anchor the mental model. So if you look at the top part here, you have 3 main off-chain capabilities. And, these are what we call as like open services. We have made a lot of progress on the storage markets, which is something that, everyone is very familiar with. And then probably, most of you guys in the community are also familiar that we have been making, tremendous R&D effort and progress in retrieval markets, basically being able to enable hot storage and also CDN quality, kind of like retrieval. That's really important to unlock, a lot more use cases. And lastly, of course, the large scale compute over data as like a very important capability and third pillar here. And then if we look at this lower section here, there are 2 very critical on-chain protocol upgrades that enable and really uplift and enhance, like the capabilities that I've mentioned above. And the first one that you are very familiar with and it's like imminently on the horizon is the launch of the Filecoin virtual machine, basically introducing programmability to the protocol. And then there's another piece around what we call interplanetary consensus. Again, there are several working groups, working on this right now and a strong R&D effort. And this effort is around like how we can scale so that, we can go on to, like being able to support the scale that is required to build even Web 2 applications in a Web 3 way.
Any Chainlink fans? Do you like Chainlink? Would you describe it as the AWS of blockchain? I like Chainlink. I like Sergey Nazarov, the co-founder. Listen to Sergey describe Chainlink, exactly the value proposition it brings to the table.
What Chainlink does in this very early stage of our industry that I do sincerely believe will secure hundreds of trillions of dollars over the coming years is provide infrastructure. So we don't make any end user applications and we don't make any blockchains. We don't make a blockchain. We provide all of the decentralized services. So decentralized services are akin to APIs. So in the web economy, you have applications and used by users. That's what DeFi is. You have the core code of an application. That's the code written by its developers. And that's what a smart contract or a set of smart contracts on a blockchain are. And then you have services, Twilio, Stripe, Google Maps, GPS location data, a number of other examples. Those 3 examples together with core code make something like Uber, right? So unless you have Twilio to send text messages to drivers and riders, unless you have Stripe to pay the drivers, and unless you have the Google Maps location API to get access to the location of a rider, even if you write all the best core code in the world, you won't build Uber, right? You need the location of the user, you need to communicate with the user, you need to pay the driver. And that is really what we do on the Web3 decentralized services level. So all of the Web 2.0 services, AWS services, Twilio, Stripe, all of these services, we either repackage them or reinvent them for the purposes of smart contracts being able to use them. Because smart contracts cannot use them. Smart contracts cannot access any external payment system. They cannot access any data. They cannot access anything like Twilio. They require essentially a secure middleware with consensus. Now, right now, we have over 800 Oracle networks. We're going to be approaching over 1,000 Oracle networks, and we're going to have thousands of Oracle networks sometime soon, I think. And that basically means that the universe of services that can be combined with core code by developers will continue to massively expand. And when that expansion happened in the Web 2.0 world, you had a massive explosion of innovative new applications such as Uber. So our goal is not to build end applications. Our goal is not to build the platforms on which the core code runs. There's a lot of those platforms. Our goal is to create all of the decentralized services.
I'd like to give Polkadot honorable mentions. Here's Gavin Wood, a co-founder of Ethereum, talking about his project, now Polkadot.
In recent years, I have co-founded the Ethereum project, founded the Polkadot protocol. When we were doing Ethereum, there was a distinct desire to get something out sooner rather than later. So we knew what